Good evening. Welcome to the February 13th, 2012 Isle View School Board meeting. Let's see, Mr. Gugis, why don't you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I would ask your indulgence for a moment of silence after the pledge for Mr. Locke. Coach Locke was a volunteer with the freshman basketball team, passed away very unexpectedly last week. The funeral arrangements have already passed on Thursday, February 9th, but he volunteered for our basketball team, and again, my heart and prayers go out to the family of the Locks. His son is a 14-year-old, Jane Adams, and his wife, Tracy. So if you would please indulge after that. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's reconvene the meeting. Who would like to read the board affirmation statement this evening? Ms. Hanson.
Our mission is to ensure that all students are prepared for college and a successful life, academically, socially, and emotionally, as well as equipped with the necessary tools to have options and make decisions about their long-term goals. This will be accomplished by believing and working towards all students learning through rigorous curricula and meaningful, effective instruction, consequently demonstrating mastery on high-quality assessments, with all stakeholders being held accountable throughout the process.
Thank you. Dr. Mitchum.
Mr. President, I'd like to ask the board to approve agenda revisions by moving action item 12.1. Excuse me. Transportation Services recommendation. Immediately following consent agenda items 6.1 through 6.4. I'd also ask the board's approval to remove information item 14.3, high school summer school report.
Need a motion?
So moved.
Second. Motion and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Member Hanson?
Yes?
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Curran?
Yes.
Member Venegas? Secretary Bull?
Yes.
Vice President Gugis?
Yes.
And President Quigley?
Yes. The reason we're doing that is just there's a lot of you here tonight, and there's no sense in y'all sitting here the rest of the evening to get to something that's further down the agenda. So that's all the reason we moved that up further in the agenda. Moving down the agenda, Treasurer's Report. Mr. Guzzafi.
Treasurer's monthly report for January 2012 is prepared by our Treasurer, Joanne Borg, contains the financial reports, balance sheets for funds 1 through 9, summary of revenue and expenditures and encumbrances, as well as the interim obligation payments for January, totaling $2,990,004.14 for your consideration and approval.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Member Hanson,
Yes.
Member Campbell,
Yes.
Member Curran,
Yes.
Secretary Bowl,
Yes.
Vice President Gugis,
Yes.
President Quigley.
Yes.
Schedule of bills is contained for your consideration and approval this evening for February 2012, totaling $2,696,317.38.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Member Hanson,
Yes.
Member Campbell,
Yes.
Member Curran,
Yes.
Secretary Bowl,
Yes.
Vice President Gugis,
Yes.
President Quigley.
Yes.
Reports 5.3, summary of investments, 5.4, state funding update, and 5.5, school trust account activity are all contained for your information only. If you have any questions, happy to answer those.
You know, I'm going to ask. The state funding, $4.3 million. That's how far behind?
That's correct. That represents, again, one quarterly payment. Would have been due December 31st, so wherever we are, mid-February, we're...
When do you
roughly-
anticipate possibly getting that? Sometime in
Typically, we're 3
June?
months and 15 days out. So March 31st would put us at even 3 months, and then April 15th would put us right about where we would anticipate this payment to come in at.
had the occasion to have the state treasurer speak at a luncheon yesterday at the Center for, not the Center for Community Service, Community Service Council. And he basically indicated that the 67% personal income tax that the state passed last year is only enough to meet the payment that they owe for their pension debt for this year. So a $7 billion tax increase is only enough for the state of Illinois to meet its pension debt for this year, because next year that pension debt goes up. So don't know what they're going to do with all that new money, that $7 billion, but that's just enough to cover their pension debt for 1 year. So that tax increase, we're not going to see any of that money, or if we do, I'll be very surprised. And that's just the state treasurer saying, this is what the money did, this is where the money came from. So moving down the list, meetings, consent agenda items.
Mr. President, I'd like to ask the board to approve consent agenda items 6.1 through 6.4. 6.1 board meeting minutes, January 23rd, 2012. 6.2 executive session meeting minutes, January 23rd, 2012. 6.3 trips, Bolingbrook High School, Romeoville High School, and Lukanzik Middle School. And 6.4 gifts for Independence, Jamie McGee, and Woodview Elementary Schools.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Member Hanson,
Yes.
Member Campbell,
Yes.
Member Curran,
Yes.
Secretary Bowl,
Yes.
Vice President Gugis,
Yes.
President Quigley.
Yes. Mr. Guzzafi, transportation.
Transportation Services recommendation. As you know, we've been negotiating with the Drivers and Monitors Union over the last several months to try to reach a tentative agreement on the financial aspects of a 3-year contract going forward. The primary purpose was to determine what changes could be made, if any, to counter the proposals received during the process of soliciting RFPs, requests for proposals, to outsource transportation. We've had 6 bargaining sessions with the AFSCME representatives, and a final counteroffer was made that would seem to close the gap enough that it makes sense for the district to maintain the transportation services for the district in-house. In your packets is a spreadsheet outlining current costs, along with the proposal by who we felt was the lowest responsible bidder for outsourcing transportation, along with the proposal, counter-proposal, if you will, by the AFSCME union. And so the numbers will indicate that we are close enough to the outsource proposal that the recommendation is being made, and you've got the details of that counter-proposal, that we reject all of the RFP proposals submitted by the outside contractors, and to continue formal negotiations with the Drivers and Monitors Union to discuss language only, since the financial parameters have been tentatively agreed to, and try to reach an agreement prior to the expiration of that drivers and monitors union set to expire on June 30th, 2012. And so at this time, the action necessary would be that the board reject all of the RFPs received in response to our request for pricing for student transportation services.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion?
Sure. I would like to thank the bus drivers union. I think that under your leadership with James Kennedy, excuse me.
Can you guys talk more?
Sure.
Into the microphone?
Sure, no problem.
Sure. We're getting a lot of feedback up here. Okay.
No problem. Can you hear me now? Yes. Okay. I'd like to thank the bus drivers and the bus drivers union, particularly Mr. James Kennedy. We've been through quite a bit of discussions. The state of Illinois is cutting millions of dollars from our transportation fund, and the drivers stepped up and did what was best for the district and our kids. And I think the thing that we have to do now is, there was a gentleman, I don't know if he's here today, but he had mentioned the last time that there was three parts. There was the drivers, there was maintenance, and there was the administration. The drivers shouldn't be forced to carry all of this. There's two other parts that need to get addressed, and that's the that's the maintenance piece, and that's the transportation administration. And they should be asked to carry their fair weight too, because the drivers did their part. So I'd like within a month for us to have an information report from our administration on where we stand with the administration, and obviously with our talks with the AFT in terms of the maintenance. But I have no problems in supporting this. The drivers did what we asked them to do. Thank you.
I'd like to echo that, and Mr. Kennedy, I want to thank you for and your team of negotiators for the efforts that you guys put forth, and it means a lot. And I'm glad I made that meeting. Sorry I was late, but I did get there. With that, if there's no other discussion, we have a motion and a second. Need a roll call vote, please.
Member Hanson,
Yes.
Member Campbell,
Yes.
Member Curran,
Yes.
Secretary Bull,
Yes.
Vice President Gugis,
Yes.
President Quigley.
Yes. Don't feel like you have to stick around. If you guys want to stick around, that's fine, but we appreciate your effort. Hello.
Okay.
Hello. Working up here. Yeah, we're getting a lot of feedback, but we'll figure it out. If not, we'll bark loudly. Yeah, maybe with the room.
Move to the front.
Things look like they're settled down a little bit now. Let's move down the agenda. Pillars of Valley View. I'm not sure who's going first.
Yes. The first would be Dr. Page from the Phoenix Experience. Is Dr. Page? Okay.
Here she comes.
Good evening, President Quigley, Vice President Gugis, Secretary Bull, members of the Board of Education, senior leadership, Dr. Mitchum, and community members. As I stand here before you this evening, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Gerald Butterhowski. Mr. Butterhowski has been a teacher for the past 26 years, teaching in private schools in Chicago and in the Joliet public school system. For the past 7 years, he has been a teacher at the Phoenix Experience. Jerry has taught students from honors to remedial levels. After those experiences, Mr. Butterhowski felt he could best serve students in the alternative program. He also enjoyed working with the team of teachers at the Phoenix and feels that they are making a great difference in the lives of our students. In addition to teaching at the Phoenix Experience, he's also an instructor at Xavier University, where he's a master's teacher of arts and teaching leadership program for the past 11 years. In this program, he works with experienced teachers to improve their teaching techniques and give them teaching strategies and techniques. Mr. Butterhowski is happily married to his wife of 38 years, Diane. They have 3 beautiful daughters, Kimberly, who's married to Andy, Jennifer, whose spouse is John, and Ann, whose spouse is Mike. And 4 wonderful grandchildren, Matthew, Madeline, Maggie, and AJ. Mr. Butterhowski, thank you for your years of service at the Phoenix Experience. Please accept this crystal apple as a token of appreciation for all your hard work and dedication to the students and staff of Phoenix. Would the Butterhowski family please step forward so they can be a part of the picture?
Mrs. Page, your crystal apple kind of showed up my little pen. We're going to need to have a discussion afterwards.
Crystal apple. It's not a pen.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have Principal Sarah DiDonato from A. Vito Martinez Middle School.
Good evening, members of the board, senior leadership, and Valley View staff and community members. The administration at A. Vito Martinez Middle School is honored to acknowledge Ms. Beth Stevens as a pillar of Valley View. This year is her first year in the position of librarian at AVM, but she has been with us for 19 years as a social studies teacher, science teacher, and enhancement teacher. With her new role as librarian, Ms. Stevens has had the opportunity to see a more global view of our building and school district as a whole and sees the positive impact of our district's vision to improve the educational experiences for all students. She assists staff individually and through large groups to differentiate materials for all learners, to create engaging lessons through the use of technology, and she is currently leading a Teachers as Readers book club that discusses rigor, its definition, and how to ensure a rigorous learning experience for all students. Moreover, Ms. Stevens fosters a love for reading that has become contagious among our students. Our building recently participated in Anderson's Bookshop's Mock Cybert competition, where 480 of our students, which is more than half, read more than 2,800 books and then voted on their favorite. Ms. Stevens teaches lessons to students about reading for information and helps them identify their interests in selecting reading material. Based on a conversation our staff had today at a language arts key leader meeting, one of the students even mentioned in class in front of all of his peers, Ms. Stevens is right. When she tells you a good book, it is good. Ms. Stevens does all of this while serving as the building technology coach, map testing coordinator, book club sponsor, 6th grade sponsor, and a union rep. I personally would like to thank Ms. Stevens for all that she does for the students in our building and the assistance she provides the administration in maintaining accountability for all members of our school community. Thank you, Ms. Stevens.
finally, we have Mrs. Jackie Mitchum from Kenneth L. Hermanson Elementary School.
Good evening, President Quigley, members of the board, senior leadership, Dr. Mitchum, and the community. I bring with you Ms. Kelly Allen as the pillar of Valley View School District. Kelly Allen, fifth grade teacher at Hermanson, began her career in Valley View in 1996. She since has represented many district and building committees such as the Math Committee, mentoring other teachers, serves as a building induction coordinator, PBIS coach, and is a member of the Hermanson leadership team. Ms. Allen's efforts contribute to Hermanson's positive climate, as she is a model teacher in many ways. Her commitment to building relationships with her students and continued effective instruction has allowed many students to be successful. It is an honor to acknowledge Kelly Allen as a pillar of the Valley View School District. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Next, we have Venus Smith. She will be recognizing Beverly Scoff Elementary School for the Illinois State Board of Education Academic Improvement Award.
Good evening, members of the board, Dr. Mitchum, senior leadership, Valley View staff, and members of the audience. I'd like to take this time to just update you on what this special distinction means. And my counterpart, Rachel Kinder, is here to help me to distribute these pins, and we're going to have the assistance of our dedicated SCOF administration as well. And I'll introduce them in just a couple of minutes. So what does this mean? Beverly Scoff Elementary School in Romeoville is among a host of statewide schools that made the Illinois State Board of Education's Illinois Honor Roll for continued academic progress. The state's annual recognition in 3 separate categories is based on state standardized tests and demographic information. Now, SCOF received this distinct honor from the ISBE Academic Improvement Award. Now, only 114 schools throughout Illinois received this Academic Improvement Award, given to schools that have posted substantial gains in state math and reading tests. SCOF was cited for posting a school-wide 13% increase in students meeting or exceeding on the Illinois Standards Achievement Test from 2009 to 2011. So let's first off give the dedicated SCOF administrators a round of applause. Now I'm going to ask that Laura Noon and Cheryl Lockard, could you come up here, please? And Laura's going to recognize those 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade teams of teachers who helped make this possible.
Assistant, before you start, for those of you who aren't familiar with these 3 awards, there's 3 awards. There's one for academic achievement, which really in the state is dominated by charter schools and magnet schools and schools that get to select their students based on already having high test scores. There's one that's a spotlight award that is, I won't get into it, but doesn't necessarily fit the belief systems of Valley View. And then I think the most impressive award is the the improvement in academic achievement, where really a school is making that difference in what our kids know. So this is really a great honor for SCOF, and I hope this is just the beginning of you guys getting that award again, and hopefully all of our schools getting that award here in the future. So just congratulations again. But I wanted to point out that this award is this is the award to get in the 3 of the state. So congratulations.
Thank you, Vice President Gugis. Before we announce our wonderful teachers and all the hard work that they've done, I'd like to take just a quick moment to thank not just our 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade teachers that are here, but all of our staff at SCOFF. Mrs. Lockwood and I feel very, very blessed each and every day to be able to come to school and work with such an amazing group of individuals. We'd like to thank the community of Romeoville. Moms and dads are working really, really hard at home supporting their kids and our teachers, so we thank them for that. And of course, all of our amazing students and all of the great things that they're doing as well. And senior leadership, I'd like to thank you for your guidance and continued support with all of the initiatives that we have going on at SCOFF. As Vice President Gugis said, we're hoping that this is just the stepping stone to many great things to come at SCOFF. So, you want me to just start announcing names? Okay, so when you hear your name, come on up. I'm going to start with 3rd grade, Ms. Andrea Allen. Alejandrina Lopez. Maria Tapia. Lori Conklin. Twice. Christy Tank. Melissa Hansbrough. 4th grade, I'd like to start with Stacy Ritchie. Heralia Escobedo. Moving to 5th grade, Jamie Hunt. I need to back up. We forgot one 4th grade teacher. I apologize. Liz Hornback. Sorry, Liz. Dawn Perez. Jody Pearson. Yvette Alvarez. And Mr. Kuyava. And we can't end until I recognize my wonderful office staff. They are here today. If they could stand real quick, please. Liz Boozy, Karen Sherwin, Denise Gray, and Lisa Dole. We couldn't do it without their help and support with all of my crazy requests that I have for them. So thank you for always supporting us. Thank you.
If I may say briefly, I'd like to use an athletic analogy. In sports, you have several members of the team, and when the lights go on and the game begins to be played, you have your players who are spotlighted in terms of Go ahead, Larry. Go ahead. No, please, go ahead. Thank you. In terms of the spectators, however, knowing Laura Noon, she would have gladly invited all of her staff here, kindergarten through 5th grade, to receive this honor. But I've been kind of a stickler with the money and the pen's cost, but I think in this instance, I can dip into my pocket a little bit deeper and come up with pins for all of her staff, because I do believe that all of the staff there are deserving of the credit concerning this award. And so, with your permission, Principal Noon, I'd like to bring those pins to the teachers that were not here tonight and shake their hand and hand them their pin and thank them as well for a job well done, for setting the foundation for these great teachers as well. So thank you very much.
Are they getting a glass apple too, a crystal apple?
We're not getting crystal apples, that's for sure. Dr. Page.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Liaison reports, any and all. Right to left, left to right, anyone?
Yes.
Did you say yes?
Yes, I did say yes. Trying to get my figures. Okay, the special needs met, and I believe we had like 68 adults and 58 children. That was at our last meeting, and we do meet semi-annually. No, we meet quarterly. So we'll be having our next function on April 24th. If you can't hear it, I don't know what's happening with these mics. I don't want to eat it. It's not a vegetable. Okay. Okay. The special needs resource, they did meet, and I believe we had like 60-some parents and 58 children who attended the last function. Thank you, Dr. David Hale said that's correct. And our next meeting will be April 24th, so you will be hearing more announcement. We do thank every parent and student who came out, and invite the rest of the district to come out and thank Dr. David Staff and Ms. Deetra Williams and the rest of the committee, which I'm a part, and Crystal also, that we will have even a greater success at our next meeting.
Any other reports? I want to let you know that we are getting ready to get into negotiations with the teacher's contract. That will be starting, I think we have a preliminary date of the 22nd. Is that correct, Dr. Mitchum?
Yes. That's correct.
22nd, so we're looking forward to that. Hopefully everybody will come out of there loving one another. I'm not sure if that's possible, but you know what? Everybody's going to be asked to put a lot of things on the table. Senate Bill 7 has changed the way we have to do business, and it's going to change the way the teachers have to do business. So look forward to those negotiations and see where we can go with that. So just want to let everybody know that will be starting soon. Moving down the agenda, student due processes. Dr. Mitchum.
Mr. President, I ask the board approve these items as presented.
Hang on, I skipped over. Audience participation. Is there anybody who wishes to address the board this evening? Hearing none. Oh, please step forward. State your name, where you're from.
Good evening, board. My name is Thomas Suliga. I'm a resident of Romeoville. Two of my children attending AVM. My daughter is 8, my son is in 7th grade. I'm here this evening to speak about issue that is very, very dear to the heart of many residents in the village. As you may know, Hanson Material is planning expansion of a Romeoville quarry. Romeoville quarry that is directly across the street south from Romeoville High School. Many of residents feel this is not a very good thing for the residents. It's affecting the school. Back in '95, when Material Services then expanded to west of 53, Valley View School Board took a vote in opposition of that expansion. I ask you to please look at this issue as it really affects the whole community, and I ask you to take a stand on this.
Thank you. I believe there's a meeting tomorrow night, correct?
That's correct.
And that's
Tomorrow
going to be at the high school?
At the high school at 7 p.m.
I was notified by Mayor Noak's office of the meeting, and I will try to be there. It depends if my wife will let me out on Valentine's Day, but I will get a full accounting of what happens at that meeting.
Really appreciate it.
And so, you know, sir, the Village of Romeoville has asked us, you know, what our concerns are, and the timing of the explosions has been an issue that we've mentioned to them as a potential current problem that we have.
Yeah, one of the issues on the table is they actually looking to start mining on a piece of land that is very close to the high school, and that would have a really effect on the school.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, Dr. Mitchell. Student due process.
Okay. Student due process cases A through I ask that the board approve these items as presented.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. So any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none. Roll call vote, please.
Member Hanson,
Yes.
Member Campbell,
Yes.
Member Curran,
Yes.
Secretary Bull,
Yes.
Vice President Gugis,
Yes.
President Quigley.
Yes. K through 8.
Good evening, President Quigley, members of the board. Tonight, Assistant Superintendent Smith and I are seeking approval for the adoption of a new cohesive K-8 math program and the purchase of the corresponding materials, resources, and support. At our last board meeting on January 23rd, our directors of mathematics and science, Lori Boback and Christy Vade, presented an information report in detail. Tonight in your packet, you will find a summary of this information, including the background, the rationale, and our recommendation of the program adoption and materials purchase. So tonight we are seeking your approval for this adoption.
So moved.
Second.
Second. Motion and second. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Member Hanson,
Yes.
Member Campbell,
Yes.
Member Curran,
Yes.
Secretary Bull,
Yes.
Vice President Gugis,
Yes.
President Quigley.
Yes. Ms. Hawks.
Thank you, President Quigley. Action Report 13.1. We're seeking your approval on the Consolidated Action Report for Certified and Classified Personnel. This consists of 20 separate items for certified personnel, 33 items for classified personnel, and 4 items for certified administrative personnel.
So move.
Motion and a second, please.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none. Roll call vote, please.
Member Hanson,
Yes.
Member Campbell,
Yes.
Member Curran,
Abstain.
Secretary Bull,
Yes.
Vice President Gugis,
No.
President Quigley.
Yes.
My next action report is 13.2, resolution number 1299, authorizing dismissal of educational support personnel employees for reasons other than reduction in force.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
Yes.
We have a second. Oh,
Yeah.
Mr. Kern? I'm sorry. Motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Member Hanson,
Yes.
Member Campbell,
No.
Member Curran,
Yes.
Secretary Bull,
Yes.
Vice President Gugis,
No.
President Quigley.
Yes. Motion carries. Next. Summer learning experiences.
Venus Smith will present.
Okay.
Good evening again, President Quigley, board members, Dr. Mitchum, senior leadership, Valley View administration, Valley View staff, and members of the audience. I'm here tonight to present the 2012 Summer Learning Experience Proposal Update for grades kindergarten through 5th grade. And although I'm standing here before you, I just want you to know that this is through the hard work and commitment of our Summer Learning Experience committee members. They're reflected here on the screen. I'd like to take some time to acknowledge those committee members who have joined us tonight. If you can stand up, please. We have Don Tefano, Ricardo Sanchez, David Hell, Larry Randa, Ron Crossy, Chris Schafline, Jackie Mitchum, Kim McCohey, Michelle Romold, Regina Lieberg, Lori Boback, and Bob Pensiak. We also have active department partnership with bilingual ELL, enrollment, finance, food services, human resources, operations, special education, student services, technology, and transportation. Can we give those committee members a hand, because I do want to acknowledge their hard work. So I'm the voice of the committee, but again, the committee members, again, put a lot of hard work and time for all students here in Valley View, K through 5. So just to give you a little background and what our purpose is. In August 2011, the Summer Learning Experience Committee came to the Board of Education to present the initial proposal. Then that committee has continued to research and develop this program to stay on course with the proposed timeline beginning June of 2012. Now, our purpose is to create a fee-based summer school experience that would offer enrichment courses in the PM, as well as remediation in core and academic areas in the content areas of reading and math in the AM. Now, they brought research forward in August, so I'm just going to recap that, and with added research, I'm going to just give you a brief summary. So we know that a good summer program should include the following. There should be academic content that aligns to standards. There should be skills embedded in that program that promote college and career readiness. There should be differentiation interventions. There should also be experienced trained teachers, small class sizes, fun and engaging activities, and group learning. Now here's a program overview. And again, these are tentative. We're looking at grades K through 5. We're looking at this program being fee-based. We're offering 2 4-week sessions beginning June 18th through July 13th, and then again July 16th through August 10th. Our instructional day that we're proposing is starting at 8:15 with that breakfast component, starting at tentatively 8 o'clock and ending at 3:30. We're looking at before and after school care provided at an additional cost, and so we're looking at roughly $40 in the AM, $45 in the PM. We're working actively with Romeoville and Bolingbrook Park districts, as well as PTOs. Breakfast and lunch will be provided at no charge, and transportation would be $5 per run. So we're looking at $25 per week one way, or $50 per week both ways. The sites proposed, and this is based off of the pre-registration enrollment numbers. Romeoville, we have 2 sites that can sustain adequate class sizes. We have Hermanson and Scoff, and then 3 schools in Bolingbrook, McGee, Pioneer, and Ward. Here are the tentative student enrollment numbers, as you can see here, and the proposed number of teachers that we will be utilizing based on our pre-registration enrollment numbers. Now, the proposed reading curriculum that I'd like to bring forward tonight for the board to review, and this is also in your information report, and you should see that, board members. We're looking at comprehension skill reading bags by Benchmark Education. That has a strong balanced literacy component to it. It has the key areas of shared reading, guided reading, and writing embedded in that. There's also a reader's theater, which we will also use for the PM enhancement session of the day. We're looking at those 5 key areas of reading that's fundamental for children to develop their reading skills. We have phonemic awareness, phonics, comprehension, vocabulary, and fluency. There's also that writing piece that we want strongly embedded into the day. We also looked at our ELL population. We wanted to find a program that would meet the needs of our ELL learners. And so that was a really strong characteristic that we were looking for. Resources would support whole group, small group, and independent practice. We have scripted teacher's guides for teachers who are coming in to help support this program. There are CD-ROMs available, and there's also a comprehension strategy assessment piece. And we'll be using those classroom-based assessments in order to monitor our children's progress. An in-house math program that's currently in place would be the Numbers World. That's for our proposed math curriculum for summer learning. Now, Number World has teachers editions already, student workbooks, manipulatives, and games, and that's key piece for the enrichment part. There's also a strong technology component as well as assessments. And we also have complete curriculum that's new this year. That's an online assessment tool. There's a scope and sequence already apparent in this program, as well as assessments and resources. And there's also comprehensive web-based training for teachers if they need support with how to utilize those materials. Now, our proposed program for the PM, that's a next piece with this. We have fall science, which promotes hands-on science activities for our young learners. So we have teacher guides for K through 6, equipment kits, videos that teachers can utilize, stories, which is that literacy piece that we want, and the Spanish editions, accommodating our ELL learners. We also have the Reader's Theater, as I mentioned earlier in the presentation. Now that's a piece of the comprehension skill reading bags that has all the reading levels there, supports those key areas of reading, which would be fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension, and it also supports core content and genre studies. Here are our projected costs. Now, the proposed cost, if you were to factor in administrative support, teachers at all the sites, nurses, maintenance, lunchroom, playground aides, secretarial staff, and curriculum, we're looking at approximately $96.03. Other program considerations, we're looking at publicity, and we have an ongoing communication plan to just raise the awareness to parents that the summer learning experience is coming. We're also looking at our other expenses like payroll and supplies, additional staffing needs, attendance tracking to make sure that our young ones are safe during that summer learning experience day. We're looking at MAP and comparing the spring 2012 data with the fall 2012 data and other classroom-based assessments, like I mentioned, the comprehension reading skill bags, the fall science, the numbers worlds, and then also that complete curriculum piece. We're also making sure that we are identifying appropriate needs for our students with IEPs, and as I mentioned, we have our ELL population, K through 2, making sure that we're looking at differentiating for those students as well as students 2 through 5 in that program. Now, I'm opening up to any questions that the board may have.
I don't have any questions. I have more of a statement. I want to say over the summer of 11, the academic committee really started talking about how do we improve the academic achievement in our district. And two topics really came up, and that was all-day kindergarten and a summer program. And what both of those really were based in is that our kids need more time, more instructional time.
Yes.
So I really want to encourage parents to sign their children up for this summer. And that's for if your child is performing at the high end, if your child's performing in the middle, if your child is struggling right now. This program is for all of our students. We will be able to accommodate ESL. We'll be able to accommodate to a certain level special needs. And this is how we get our district to that next level.
That's right.
So if there's some alternatives that, I know there's some alternative summer programs out there, and those programs are great. But if you're a parent out there and you're looking at a place to put your kid this summer, this program has been well thought out. It will be certified teachers that are teaching these courses. And I think it'll be a great opportunity for your children to both learn and have some fun with learning. It's not just hardcore English and math. There's also some enhancement, an opportunity for kids to have some fun with learning. This is a really great opportunity for the kids in our district. Now, if you want to see the program at your local elementary school and you don't see it up there, then talk to all your neighbors, and if you get enough people to sign up, then we can expand the program. You know, as I see it and as I would want it, it'd be at all 12 of our elementary schools. But we'd have the demand to meet that. And also with a higher demand of students, the cost can lower too. So just really want to put that out for parents as a great option. Like was mentioned, there will be before and after care. So parents, this will be very much mimic what you do now during the school day. Also, if you're thinking on the cost side, we will provide the breakfast and lunch at no cost. That was mentioned, and that will be an added benefit and a cost that you're incurring now.
Thank you for your support, Vice President Kugis, because we want to make sure that, and for all board, President Quigley as well, we appreciate that because this program is for all learners. And I want to emphasize that parents, we really want to make sure that when you send your child to this program, that you're getting the best quality program. The team has put a lot of work into this, but we know that our heart is committed to making sure that this is the best program to not only meet the children who need remediation, but children who need that academic enrichment. And so we want to make sure that we're finding things in which strategies and tools in which to provide all types of learners a rich experience in this program. And this is just the first of many years. And so as we continue to develop this program and refine, we want to make sure that we're offering it at other sites so that it's more available to parents who, if you didn't see your school's name on there, we want to make sure that we continue to refine this process so that we can open it up to more schools in years to come.
Any further? Any questions or comments? Thank you so much. Looking forward to that.
Thank you.
And looking forward to the results too. Let's see, where are we at on the agenda? Legal services. Oh, I'm sorry, extended school year. Ms. Kinder?
Yes, sir. President Quigley, members of the board, tonight I bring to you information regarding our special education extended school year program, or commonly known as ESY. This is a program that we have routinely held, and this is targeted for a limited portion of our special education population. To be eligible, these students must exhibit considerable regression of their learned skills and an inability to recoup the loss in a reasonable period of time, as determined by their individualized education program. This basically means that an extension of the school year is necessary for these students so that they can maintain and continue to increase their skills. The ESY program serves all students at all levels if their IEP, individualized education program, deems it necessary. The sites for the program this year are here at the Early Childhood Center. Jane Addams Middle School will house elementary and middle school, and Bolingbrook High School will house high school. The calendar year would begin on June 18th through July 16th, with the holiday of July 4th off, and students would attend Monday through Friday from 9:30 a.m. until 12:30 p.m. All considerations have been made for teacher training and orientation. The program is covered by federal grant monies, and you have an estimated staffing needs provided to you in your board packet to include administrative, teaching staff, paraprofessionals, and support staff and related service personnel, including nursing and therapy services. The estimated budget is outlined. Transportation is reimbursed as per usual state reimbursement, and the remainder of these monies does come from federal grant money. If there are any questions about the program, I'd be happy to answer them or allow Dr. David Hale, Executive Director of Student Services, to assist.
How many students do you anticipate being in there?
I don't have an exact number, but I know it's a couple hundred.
It's about 150 students.
Mm-hmm.
Come on up. I was just curious.
Hi, I'm David Hale, Executive Director of Student Services. We have about 150 students that attend this.
Thank you. Any other questions? Moving down the agenda. Legal services. Mr. Alford.
No report this evening.
AFT. Apparently not. Valley View Council.
We look forward to seeing you next week, and we look forward to it.
Thank you. Office Personnel Council.
No report.
Thank you. Any old business before the board? Any new business before the board? Any questions from the public on actions we have taken this evening? Hearing none, seeing none. Any announcements by the board?
Yes, I have two announcements. I want to thank Mr. Leroy Brown for coming over to help me celebrate Black History at the Good Shepherd Head Start, which is located in the New Song Church in Bolingbrook, or somebody will remember, some people might remember it as the old Northview School. And it was very interesting for him to represent Black history as well as the military personnel, or the contribution that blacks made into the military. And it was very interesting, as tall as Mr. Brown is, to see those little 3-year-old and 4-year-old files. And he acknowledged to them, and the kids could understand that they were glad about their chocolate skin. So he left that with them, and a few of them raised their hand who wanted to be soldiers just like Mr. Brown, because he came in his outfit. Was another thing that was very interesting.
It's a uniform.
Uniform. I'm sorry. He knows what I'm talking about. I work with little kids. Sorry, Mr. Brown, but he knows my heart, so that's where it comes from. And then also, I was at the Fountaindale Public Library this afternoon, and I saw a teacher getting all these books, and he was checking them out, and he actually had somebody to assist him, because when I left there, the count was over 100 books that he was getting from the Fountaindale Public Library, because he wanted the kids to read about Black history. And his name is, I believe, Mr. Jeff Ortman, and I believe he's a fifth grade teacher
at Salk Elementary?
At Jonas Salk Elementary School. So hats off to those two gentlemen and helping to celebrate Black history.
Just a couple announcements. I wanted to congratulate Miss Kelly Allen from Hermanson again. I had the pleasure 2 years ago to email the principal and assistant principal at Hermanson, and the then assistant principal, Mrs. Mitchum, recommended that I wanted to volunteer at my local elementary school, and she said that I should volunteer with Miss Kelly Allen. And what I can tell you that I learned from Miss Kelly Allen was, you know, what a teacher does is sometimes not measurable by a lot of things that we use to measure that. And Miss Allen taught me how to be a volunteer. So not only did she take the time to prepare her class plans, but she took the time to prepare plans for me to do my 50 minutes worth of volunteering. So I just wanted to point out, she truly does represent the pillar of Valley View. I also want to just point out again the SCOFF. What an amazing accomplishment. This is what we are trying to do, to improve our academics and to grow that. And I know that we have some other schools that if they can get the same results this year that they got last year, they can be right there. But again, hats off to SCOFF and Principal Noon, and you've just done such a great job. Thank you. I wanted to thank Assistant Superintendent Smith for the summer program. These are the kind of things that are going to help us get there quicker. And so thank you for all your hard work to put together such a great program with you and your committee in such a short amount of time. I think is really going to get us there. I want to thank the bus drivers again. You know, we're in tough financial times, and the bus drivers stepped up. And for the public, for those of you that don't know, they agreed to a 75-cent pay cut and a 3-year pay freeze for the next 3 years. And that's what they were willing to do to make things operate in Valley View the way they need to operate. So just a big thanks to the bus drivers. And I guess last but not least, I talk about all these great things happening in our district. I guess I need to give some credit to our superintendent, Dr. Mitchum. Thank you for what you've been doing so far. It's been truly amazing in a semester, the direction our school district's going in. Thank you.
Anyone else? I'd like to congratulate the BHS cheerleading team who went downstate and got second place. Teresa Grazinia, my babysitter, is one of them, so I told her I'd get her name on TV tonight. So just congratulations to that team. I know there's a bunch of them. I think there's like 16 or 18 of them on the squad, but they went downstate last weekend and got second place. And they got second place, as I was told. The team that got first place had, in the tumbling part, I guess, had 7 kids who were on the team that were from the Jesse White tumbling team. So they're pretty tough to compete against, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
So get second place is pretty good. So congratulations to the BHS cheerleaders. Any announcements by the administration? Jim looks like he's ready to...
I just have one. In the interest of acknowledging people, I think that in the years that I've worked in this district, I don't think that we've acknowledged to the extent that we should what goes on. When you walk into this building, you can either go to the left or you can go to the right. And traditionally, if you go to the right, you're in the Educational Services Department, and if you go to the right, you're in the Support Services Department, which includes both Gary and Sharon. And I've said to them, and I want to say publicly, that if, when you take a right in this building, we can ever get our act together in terms of the senior leadership to the degree that they have their act together on the left side of the building as it applies to human resources, management, information systems, and the budget, that we would be a very high-flying district. And we sit up here and we acknowledge all of the things that have to do with, that directly have to do with impacting student achievement and the needs of children and teachers. But again, they're like those kindergarten, first and second grade teachers at SCOFF that do a boatload of stuff in this district that never goes noticed by them and their crew, particularly management information systems, that I think warrants our acknowledgement, because absent the work that they do in their area, and absent the skill sets that they bring to the table, and absent to the degree that they're high performing, we would not be able to do what we're trying to do on the right side of the building. So I've told them before, and I'll tell them again, that when we, on the educational side, services side of the building, to include the directors and the assistant superintendents and myself, can begin to operate with the quality that they're operating, then we will truly be a high-performing district in all areas. So I wanted to thank Sharon and Gary publicly for the work that they do.
Jim, just real quick, it's certainly my pleasure, and I think I could speak for Sharon, to be part of the team under your leadership. And we look forward to many more years in the future to accomplish that goal. So thank you again.
And we beat the heck out of both of you guys, and then we don't. I'm really glad you did that, Dr. Mitchum, because we do that. And I would be remiss, thank you, Mrs. Hurdle, for the girls basketball at Romeoville. We are used to talking about girls basketball at Bolingbrook. Girls basketball at Romeoville, regionals tomorrow. We're going to win, and then we're going to go on the 16th.
Yeah, we're playing Plainfield East tomorrow at Lockport, but just what the girls were able to accomplish this year was the first athletic conference championship in 7 years in our existence in this new SPC conference. So congratulations and kudos to our girls, and also a 5th place finish in our boys bowling competition. And we did have one all-state bowler, Corey McGrady. And in the first day of competition, he was the #1 bowler in the state of Illinois on Friday for the competition, and he bowled a 290 in his third frame, or his third game of the third round that he participated in. And for those who don't know what a 290 is, he bowled a spare in the first frame and then 12 consecutive strikes. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you. Any announcements by the public? Seeing none, hearing none, a motion to adjourn would be in order.
So moved.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. We stand adjourned. Have a great evening and a wonderful Valentine's Day.